Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are so glad that we're able to be together on this Shabbat as a family, as a community. Don't fall off, right? As a family, as a community, as Temple Akiba. We're glad that you're here, whether you're here in person or with us via live stream. My name is Rabbi Zach Shapiro, and I welcome you. This particular time of year, we have a shift in our liturgy where we stop praying for rain and we begin to pray for dew. In ancient times, this was somewhat of a rain dance that was done after Sukkot, saying we would like rain. But in this season, after Passover, we say, all right, enough of the rain, it's now time for dew. Debbie Friedman put to music some beautiful lyrics that have to do with this prayer. It's not in the Sidurim. Some of you may be familiar with it. It goes like this. The words are kumi lach. Everyone say kumi lach. Kumi lach, sing that. Kumi lach. Now in the next part. Rayati, yafati, kumi lach. Kumi lach again. Kumi lach. Kumi lach. Rayati, rayati. Yafati kumilach Ki hine astav avar Hageshem halak lo Ki hine astav Astav avar Hageshem halach lo Kumilach Rayati Ya Rayati Yafati kumilach Kumilach, Rayati, Yafati, Kumilach. Ki hine astav avar, Hageshem halach lo. Ki hine astav avar Hageshem halach lo Kumilach Rayati Yafati kumilach. In our day, we truly ask for the rain to be gone. The reign of vitriol, the reign of hatred, the reign of anti-Semitism, the reign of terrible enthusiasm that is harnessing so many college campuses right now with hate. Not just out of places like Colombia, where a protester has called upon Hamas to burn Tel Aviv to the ground. And not only at University of Michigan, where students in an encampment are shouting, "Long live the Intifada." Not only in Austin, Texas, where those in solidarity with the uprising have said, and I quote, "In the footsteps of our comrades at Columbia, Rutgers, Yale, and countless others across the nation, we will be establishing the Popular University for Gaza and demanding that our administration divest from death." It hits close to home at USC and UCLA and countless other places. I want to believe that the majority of students are peace-loving, but it's hard to see that with the reality of what's going on and with the hate that is spreading. We've endured this as a people for thousands of years, and Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel, will continue to live. And so we come together. While others may harness hate and ignorance, we will harness light and perseverance to continue to move forward as our people in the face of a very dark era. But this is not the only chapter. There are many that will follow, and we will move forward. Indeed, we pray that the rain is over, but it doesn't just end from prayer and miracles. It ends with our action and our voices. I was able to sit down this week with a young person, and we had a 2-hour meeting. Someone who's not connected to Temple Akiba, but someone who I know who is very much part of this generation who does not agree with Zionism. And we did not see eye to eye at the end of the meeting. But it's a lot harder to have vitriol over a cup of coffee, which is delicious coffee. And we have plans to meet again. And I very much believe that we can shout things from the rooftops, we can write on social media, but the real way to make a difference is to connect with individuals and to have those painful, real conversations, knowing that this is about human beings more than entities. And so we harness light. And that's what tonight is about. While we honor Shabbat, we'll honor it tonight with music, with liturgy, and with dance, because that's who we are. But we begin with creating light. Julie, I'd like to invite you forward to light our Shabbat candles for us. We're on page 2, everyone, of our prayer books. Hold on one more. Look right below it, right below it. These are trick candles. Hold on, let me give you one here. I find the trick with this is to hold your thumb under it to hold it in place. That often works.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We're going to continue on page 5. We invite all who are able to please rise for Kiddush. Randy, can you help me out here? Sorry for the no advance notice here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho Ve'ahava utzon inhilanu zikaron lamase v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lamikrae kodesh ze keliziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'chata ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Turning to page 20. The Kabbalists would welcome Shabbat by turning toward the setting sun on Friday evenings and bowing as the light of Shabbos entered their hearts and their souls. They did this in Safat. By a show of hands, who's been to Safat? Whoa, wow. It's an incredible, incredible city in Israel that has its Jewish roots going back centuries and centuries. And it's a mystical, beautiful place. As a remnant of what the Kabbalists did then, when we offer the Lecha Dodi, when we come to the final verse, it's our tradition to rise and face not the setting sun, but the entry to the sanctuary, to welcome Shabbat as Shabbat comes in. We're on page 20, everyone, of our prayer books. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, לשם ולתפארת ברילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, כי בא אורך, קומי אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We rise and face the entrium. We're on verse 9. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Please be seated, everyone. Our Chatzi Kaddish is on page 26. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'almad divrach rotei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala, ba'gala, ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה, ואמרו Amen. Continuing now on page 28 with our call to worship, we invite the congregation to rise once again. la la, yai la 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 la, yai la la la, yai la. Let's read together in the English on page 31, the second half of the page. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, ham'ariv aravim. Shema Yisrael, the watchword of our faith, is on pages 34 and 35. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Hashem, Kevod Malchuto, Leholam Va'ed. Please be seated, everyone. Scarlett and Sienna, can I have you come forward and lead us in the Via Havta? Thank you. We're on page 36, everyone. Thank you so much.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'vol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha Vishinantam levanecha, vidibarta bam, bishiftecha b'veitecha, uvleftecha vaderech, uvshofbecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leot ayadecha, v'hayu totafot beinenecha, uftaftam, Amezuzot betecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai vihitem kedoshim lelohehem ani Adonai Elohehem asher hotzeetiatem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiot lahem lelohim, ani Adonai Elohehem.
Thank you so much. Our next prayer, the Micha Mocha, is on page 40. We often think about this as the classic prayer for social justice in Judaism. And so often I approach this prayer with the great pride of the Jewish people that we've always stood up for groups that are marginalized. In the early part of the 20th century, we were there at the forefront of women's suffrage. In the middle part of the century, we stood against Jim Crow laws. In the 1960s, we stood with the women's movement. In the 70s, 80s, and beyond, we stood with LGBTQ and the rights for gay marriage. So many of these groups, not only did we stand hand in hand with, but we led the torch with. And it's what makes it so difficult right now that so many of these groups that we were with seem to have turned on us, and we're feeling vulnerable and alone right now. As I shared at the beginning of the service, we don't give up. We keep going. This part of the service is always dedicated to social justice because we remember the crossing the Sea of Reeds, which means that we had to do the impossible and go against the tide, swim upstream, if you may, against a current that would have swept us away. And so we continue and we continue and we continue to do this. The Micha Mocha is often set to music that is significant for the holy day or festival that we're observing. Passover makes so much sense because Passover is about leaving behind narrow-mindedness, Mitzrayim, and going forward to a promise of something expansive and awesome. And so the melody that we're using for Micha Mocha tonight is a Passover melody for the song Adirhu. It goes something like this. I may not get it quite right. Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha Nehedar Ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot osefele. Micha Mocha works to pretty much every melody, which is nice. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha v'okei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam ze Eli anu v'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov Ga'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. We're going to continue with our Amidah section. It's on page 46, and we invite the congregation to rise once again. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chastei Avot ve'Imahot, u'Mevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo b'Ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol atah, Rav lo Hoshia, Mohorid hatal. Mechalkel Chayim bechesed, Mechaye HaKol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha Mocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech meimit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukadoshim b'chol yom ya'alu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We take now a moment for our own private prayers. We can use the liturgy in our books between pages 56 and 62, or else just take our own moments for the liturgy of our hearts. When you're finished with your own private prayer, you may be seated. Hodu l'Adonai. We give praise to God. Just repeat those words after me. Hodu l'Adonai. Hodu l'Adonai. Hodu l'Adonai. Sing that much with me. Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai. Here's the second part. Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu. Try that second part with me if you can. Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu. Now, if you're willing, this is a round. If you're willing, we'll start at the beginning. Two parts, two-part round. Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai. This is where the first part comes in. But I'll just go to the second part. Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu l'Adonai, Hodu. When I was first studying to become a rabbi, I entered rabbinical school in 1992 for my year in Israel. And I was lucky enough to have my sister living in Jerusalem at the same time. And the irony is that of the three children my parents had, my sister Eliza was the one who was always the true Talmud scholar in the family. And I was always in awe of how she could embrace text with her intellect. But what I learned during my year in Israel is that it wasn't only the creativity of her mind, but it was the wisdom of her movement that made a difference. What do I mean by that? She and a wonderful friend of hers created a midrashic dance through movement that was crafted and curated and presented to communities first in Israel and then in the United States. What my sister did was she took a passage from the Mishnah, from Pirkei Avot, which says in translation, turn it over and turn it over, for all is in it. And my sister and her partner took a talit, a prayer shawl, and they created a whole dance with this prayer shawl as though the shawl were a text of the Torah. And they tugged on it as though they were arguing over text, and they rolled in it and embraced it. And I tell you, when I first saw it, I thought it was the foofiest thing in the world. But it grew on me, and it grew in me. And I realized that prayer through liturgy is only one kind of prayer. But our bodies are meant to move. When I shared earlier in the service that at this time of year, we begin to pray for dew instead of doing the rain dance, which our ancestors would do, that was a way of introducing that dance was historically part of our liturgy. I share all this because on this Shabbat evening, we are so excited to welcome in Shenandoah Harris, who is the artistic director of Psychopomp Dance Theater. And Shenandoah and her collaborator, Ryan Howard, have created a beautiful suite of biblical interpretation through dance. I had the opportunity, because of our extraordinary program director, Catherine, to watch the entirety of the performance. And I asked Catherine if it would be possible to have one of their movements as part of our Friday evening liturgy. And then an additional movement will be presented later during the Oneg Shabbat. The movement that we're going to see now is about Moses hearing the call at the burning bush. And I found this so very moving, and I wanted it to stir all of us at this time, especially at this Shabbat during Passover. Because just as Moses was reluctant to hear the call of what he should do in the face of tyranny, I think all of us need to hear that call as well and feel that call. And so, Shenandoah, Shen, as you go by, I invite you forward. There you are. I'm looking over here. I invite you forward, and I'll clear everything off so that the bima will be yours.
Oh boy.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, okay. I feel like I'm at my bat mitzvah again. Okay, hi. So yeah, my name is Shenandoah, and I'm artistic director of a dance company out here called Psychopomp. And one of the goals of Psychopomp is that we want to bring more Judaism into the dance community, and we want to bring more dance into the Jewish community, and more Judaism into the world, because we need more of that. So I'm really grateful that I'm here today, that y'all were open to this collaboration. And one of the ways that I experience my own Judaism, kind of like what your rabbi was just saying, is that I really view my body as this vessel from God, and I want to use my body. I want people to witness the usage of bodies in shared breath as audience members, as creators or dancers, as you'll see, as a way to honor the Torah, explore it, understand it more. So Passover is my personal favorite holiday, and I love the story of the burning bush. I think it really speaks to just, I don't know, what it is to be a Jew in a lot of ways. And if you want to stay around after this that you're going to see right now at 8 o'clock in just a little bit, you'll see the entire Haggadah put into the physical interpretation of the body. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. So you should stick around. It's right across the way in the social hall. And I think you kind of said everything I wanted to say. You're kind of good at this. But I really think that this story tells us and shows us that when we return to ourselves, return to who we really are, we can confront any evil. And I think that's very important right now. So without further ado,
Can I say wow for everyone? Shen, are you in earshot? Oh, there you are. Can you just share the names of the people who... Can we say thank you? Catherine, who was there a second ago. I'm in deep gratitude to Catherine, our program director, for bringing this to us. And that really helped me to pray and to understand our liturgy just on a deeper level. Let's all take a deep breath. I have to also say my jaw dropped at some of those movements because I can't touch my toes, and wow, I'm impressed. I'm sorry? Oh, no. Friends, let's open our prayer books to page 253. We have an opportunity for a prayer for healing, a healing of body, a healing of soul, a healing of spirit, a healing of our nation, and a healing of the world. So right in the center of the page is our Misha Berach. We'll offer it together. And when I get to the center of the page, the center of the prayer, if there are specific people you know of who could use an extra embrace, share those names out loud. Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Berach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, Amen. It's now my honor to invite forward, on behalf of our synagogue leadership, our synagogue president, Kathy Penzo. Kathy, thank you so much for all you do, and Shabbat Shalom.
Let's see. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Wow. That was such a inspiring treat, and I know you're all going to stick around to see more of this in a few minutes. Thank you, Rabbi, for leading us in this beautiful service this evening. You're inspiring us with light in these dark times that we all need, and I'd like to welcome everyone here. Is there anyone here for the first time? Welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself? That's okay. We look forward to greeting you later. I want to thank Julie for lighting our candles, and Randy Murphy for leading us in the Kiddush, and Sienna, and I'm sorry I forgot your first name, pardon? Scarlett, for leading us in the Via Hafta, and Sisterhood for sponsoring our Oneg this evening. You already know about the Psycho Pomp dance performance that will be going on after the Oneg. I want to remind you about a few of our other upcoming events. Next Saturday, May 4th, Sisterhood is sponsoring a NAMI walk, which is the National Alliance for Mental Illness, and we will be having a walk from Temple Akiba just in the neighborhood. And if there's information in our bulletin and on our e-news, and you can see Renee Mishul in the back there if you want more information. Our annual congregational meeting will be on May 15th. We are having dinner here at 6 p.m., and then our meeting is at 7, and we hope you will all come and vote on our new slate and vote on the budget, and hear from our board and staff. Our 17th annual Mitzvah Day is on May 17th, and if you want to make sure you get a t-shirt in your size, please register by this coming Tuesday. There are lots and lots of activities. There's a brochure in the foyer, and it's also online. You can register that way as well, and if you have any questions, you can ask me. And lastly, we have our night out in Tel Aviv on Saturday, June 1st. We are transforming Temple Akiba into nightlife at Tel Aviv, and it's going to be casino games, dancing, music, open bar, dinner. So please sign up, and we hope to see you there. Again, Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Hey, Mara, can you help me up here for a minute by opening the Ark? We're going to continue on page 282, about halfway down the page with the Aleinu. We invite the congregation to rise once again. All right, hey, Lacey. What great shoes. So, Mara, come over here, sweetie. Take this, and you're going to slide it this way. Lacey, you get that door? Great, and then we just stand here and face the Ark. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Help this side. Perfect. Thank you so much, Mara. Thank you, Lacey. Please be seated, everyone. As we prepare for the mourner's Kaddish, I offer the following reading on page 291. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways that we remember. We remember friends and family of our community who have died, who continue to shine upon us from their eternal resting spaces. Although we don't officially say Kaddish for him tonight, Dr. Richard Hyman, a dear friend of Deb Cognac-Griffin, recently died, and his funeral has not yet happened, which is why we don't say Kaddish yet. But, Deb, we surround you with goodness and with light. We also remember at this time Galena Booman and Martin Miller, both of whom have died during this period of Shloshim. Is there anyone else who is observing Shloshim the first 30 days at this time? Your friend, right? We add to their names the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths that occur on this Shabbat, beginning with those who have plaques in our Erfrig Memorial Room. Asney Berman, Darlene Bilkis, Philip Edelman, Edward Fragan, Ida Frankel, Miriam Fritz, Alan Gould, Betty Carroll, Lena Kimmelman, Harry Kleinberg, Sally Kramer, Janice Krieger, Abe Malkin, Isaac Maller, father of Rabbi Alan Maller, Isaac Marks, Esther Mishul, Charles Aller, Jenny Robinson, Florence Swern, Morris Weinberg, Joseph Weiss. We also remember Donald Aronson, Barbara Becker, Harlan Sherman, Jerry Edson, Lou Pfeiffer, Joseph Farias, Debbie Fraden, Charles Galen, Bert Germain, Benjamin Germain, Lillian Gilman, Mayan Golian, Barbara Hochberg, Charles Holt, Harold Kaplan, Jean Krupnick, Sam Lederman, Odette Lieberman, Joshua Lobenthal, Jacob Mararo, Jack Puritz, Dorothy Rosenberg, Gloria Rothenberg, Nancy Rothenberg, Jack Rubin, Dan Rudman, Gertrude Samuelson, Samuel Schaff, Simon Siegel, Fanny Siegel, Zola Siegel, Betty Silverman, Arthur Silverman, Cheryl Skura, Yetta Steiner, Lillian Strauss, Sylvia Weiner, Paul Zimmerman, Henrietta Zurich. Are there additional yard sites those here are observing? May all their memories continue to bless us with light. On page 294, we ask that you rise once again for our mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah v'yalma divrach rotei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael bagalau v'izman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudasha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace to be known in the high heavens help us understand that by reaching out to one another, we create peace on earth as well. For all Israel and for all humanity, we say, Amen. Everyone take a deep breath. But don't sit down yet. Place your books back, please, in their spots. Our closing song isn't in the books, but it's one that, ironically, we may have had enough of already, and it's called Dayenu, meaning it would have been enough, but it's appropriate for this time of year. And let's just open our hearts and our voices, get our hands ready to clap, and sing together. Ilu hotzianu mi Mitzrayim, hotzianu mi Mitzrayim, dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et ha-Shabbat natan lanu. Dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et ha-Torah natan lanu et ha-Torah dayenu, 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 dayenu. This matzah came from the best bakery in town, I tell you. Actually, I don't know, for those who haven't yet discovered it, it's been out for a few years, the gluten-free matzah is the best. It tastes really good. I would eat it all year long, and I'm not a matzah fan. So, and with the with the spirit of Carol Diamond in here, I won't crack this in here because then it will spill everywhere. So let's offer motzi together. Ha-motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for matzah. Our voices joining happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Ha-motzi lechem min haaretz. B'tei avon. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Let's join across the way.